Hi everyone and welcome to Sunday's live video at noon on YouTube. I'm Marcie Besker and I am an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. I of course am looking for my live video here and I found it. All right, how is everybody today? Happy Sunday. All right. Hi Sharon, hi Steph. All right, fixing my volume, all good. Today we are going to, I bet. Today we are going to do a super fun card. Hi Rio. Welcome everybody. Happy Sunday. Is it hot where you guys are? Because it is going to be 111 this week and it is. Hi Kathy, I'm so glad you caught me live. Hello Miss Olivia. Kathy, where are you from? Thanks for joining me. We are going to have so much fun today. Hi Jennifer. Oh, I know. It's a hot one here today. It's I think it's only like 106 today, but this week's going to be 111. And my son, my daughter-in-law, and my grandson are coming towards the end of the month. And a little over, what's today? The 16th, 10 days from today. Oh, Cheryl. Jealous. Hi, Jeannie. Welcome, everybody. So yes, my son and my daughter-in-law and my grandson are all from Washington. And they are little Washington Eskimos. They are little... I call them my little, only under 6. Oh, Sharon, I always say solar and a swimming pool. That's what you've got to have for this weather. As you guys probably know, I look over here because I'm reading my comments on my phone. You are on my laptop so I can see nice and big because I'm blind. And I want to be able to see where I'm at, make sure I'm in focus for you. But yep, it's going to be 111. I posted something on my Facebook about stay cool, everybody, whatever. And my daughter-in-law was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to survive. I go, you'll be able to survive just fine. So it will be hot for them for sure. I know how it feels when you get out of the airport and you're like, whew, hot. All right, we're going to get busy because we have a lot to do today. I'm so excited because today I'm not doing Christmas. For once, I decided, you know what, I'm going to pull something else in I've been wanting to work on. I think this card could be a super cute birthday for female or male, child or adult. I think it's a great retirement card because I will show you. Let me click over here and turn my light in. It is a super cute card for a birthday from all of us. I think it would be really cute for retirement. And we do have retirement sentiments from another set, but I just really think this is kind of cute, like especially from an office that says from all of us. Sometimes it's hard to find a cute set like that. We think you're the best, thanks. I mean, this is such a cute set. And so I'm going to show you what we're going to do today. We're going to create this little guy. So there's some coloring to do. Super cute. We did a little envelope with a happy birthday on it. And we did a little tree on the inside. I don't know why I keep getting blurred here. Let me get my light in here a little bit better. I keep trying different lighting, you guys, because I don't know. I just want to find something that works best for you guys. So anyway, here we go. We're going to color him, and you know coloring never comes out the same, so we're going to give it a go and let's see. Too early for Christmas, Sharon. That's the only way I can get my cards done is if I do a little at a time because I want to do so many different ones. Look, I did a tree already, but I didn't cut it out. But I'm going to show you how I did all that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you the measurements. Of course, as always, they will be on my blog. So let me just set that over here for you. I am going to bring in my pad because I'm going to be coloring on top of that. Thank you guys. All right, so I went ahead and stamped, easy peasy, you guys. Of course, this is Memento ink, and I do it on shimmer. Whenever I do my alcohol inks, I like to do it on shimmer because the shimmer has like a coating on it, and so it's a little easier to use your blends on it, and it just is a little more, you can do more layering, more coloring. If you do it on regular, it's a little, it can start rolling and getting soaked up a little bit too much. So I like to do it on the shimmer. I'm going to be doing, let's just do everything but the color. Well, let's do the color first because we'll let it dry. So let's just get into this. So I have a bunch of colors out, so I will mention the colors as I'm using them, and I will color as fast as I can. We're going to start with the Melon Mambo. Rio, me too. I love doing Christmas. We're going to start, I always start with the dark first, and I'm just going to just add a little bit of color just here and there. I like how Stampin' Up gives you a lot of the marks. This one not as much, but a lot of them we have the stamps that have like the little hash marks and everything, and it kind of tells you where to color. I just like to do a little coloring, just kind of like where his shadow would be, or some shading, and just to kind of give it a different look. Now this is the lighter Melon Mambo, so I'm just going to lightly go in and fill in. I'm not doing a lot of detail, and of course, like I've said before, in no means am I an expert colorer. Yeah. So I love to color, and I have a ton of Copics, but I honestly, since I've switched over to Stampin' Up, have been using Stampin' Up. I absolutely am thrilled with all of these colors. Okay, and then I took the Melon Mambo, the dark, and I just did the eyelids just to kind of blend in with the rest of his coloring. And do I know what a flamingo or whatever this guy is? I think it's a flamingo. Color is not really, but it's fun. I took a dark pumpkin pie and I did his little beak. And of course the blends, if you don't know, have two ends. And I just kind of did like this, and then I took the lighter and I just did the tip, kind of blended in a little bit, just so it kind of sticks out a little. So we have the smaller end, and then we have the brush tip in. And I like to fill in stuff like that with the brush, but then I like the little tip. I use the brush the most, but this is such a little detailed image. I use the smaller. Now this is the light Flirty Flamingo. So I'll try to put the caps like that so you guys can see. It's not always on the same end, but, and I just kind of colored his little skin in. So as you can see, the coloring goes really easy, and the blends just glide on this paper. I just love it. All right. Have you guys seen the new die cut machine? I absolutely love it. All right, what I did is I brought in my black. I just used my marker for his little nose. So I just did my black. Oh, except this is basic gray. I grabbed the wrong one, which is okay. And I just do his little nose. I have the black blend, but I don't know why I didn't choose it, but I think because this was on my table and that's what I just used. Okay, so now I'm going to do the light pumpkin pie, and I'm going to get the little guy's nose here. And I just kind of did a little bit like that, and then I went in with, I believe it was the light Mambo. Just kind of blended them a little bit together. I wanted it a little more orangey. go. I'm trying to think. I might have used the dark. I'm going to add a little more dark on there. Oh, Sharon, I do too. I am super happy with it. You know, you never know when you change. You know, when they go from the Big Shot to a new machine, you never know. I'm like, oh, I hope it's going to be something that we like. And I absolutely love it. All right, so now I'm going to do the light granny apple green, but I'm going to use the little end here just to color my little bird in. I want him kind of bright. So I just did my granny apple green. Don't forget his little legs. And when it's so tiny like that, you guys, if you just kind of tap, and the color will fill in, so you don't have to do too much. All right, so now let's get to the turtle. And the turtle, what I did is I started out with bronze. I love the bronze and ivory, you guys. I absolutely love them. So what I did is I took the brush tip marker, and the bronze and ivory kind of come together, and I just kind of filled the outline of his little tortoise shell. I don't want to go too close because remember, these kind of bleed just a little as you're going, because it's already got color over there. And green's going to be the main color anyway. I just want to add some brown to kind of color him in a bit. All right. Are those stickers? Yes, you know what I did is I typed them out on the computer, and then I printed on a piece of Whisper White, and then I adhered that to the double-sided adhesive sheets, and then I took a circle punch and punched them out. That way I could just stick them on easily. So they all have, not all of them, some of the newer ones I didn't put them on yet. And that way when they're in my on my shelf, I can see which I want. Hi, Felicia. Oh, thank you. So yeah, this was I saw somebody else, another demonstrator, do it, and I said, ooh, that is such a great idea. So that's what I did. And I like that they're a little thicker. I did put them on the cardstock because they stand up to pulling out, in and out, and all that good stuff. All right, so now I'm going to take light Old Olive. I'm going to use the brush tip again. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to take the light Melon Mambo next. And I just kind of blend it a little bit with the bronze, just to kind of give it that bluishy, greenish brown kind of color. Nothing fancy. I am going to do a little bit more down here just because this is the corner and he's right up against the flamingo there. Remember, you're going to come in with another color and kind of blend it out, so you want to make sure you don't do too much. Then I go back to my bronze, and I'm just tapping on his little toes a little bit just to give him some brown. Just to kind of give it a different color because we're going to be doing his body. All right, so now I'm going to take dark Old Olive, and I'm using the smaller tip, and I'm just kind of blending what's there a little bit. And this is really just kind of getting your colors, kind of figuring out what you want. I'm going to do this, his little legs in this color because it's underneath him where it's kind of shadowy. And then I'm going to do under his neck right here. I'm going to do a little bit of his eye, just to add some color. Hi, Barbara. Welcome. All right, then I'm going to do a little bit of the light. Let's see, do I want to do the light? Yeah, I'll do a little bit of the light in here. You don't want to do too much because it will bleed all over the place if you just keep adding. But it's going to bleed out a little bit blend out, I should say, from the little squares. So I'm going to go a little bit light color first. Because you don't want them just green, right? And then I forgot I did the light olive. Don't forget his little foot over here. He's got a little foot. Nola, welcome. Okay, no problem. I'm glad you made it. Welcome back. All right, so we're going to do his little legs. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do his head in the Granny Apple Green. I don't want it super, super dark. And then I think I'm going to take the light Old Olive again and just kind of blend it. You can see it gets a little darker on top of the Granny Apple. And just kind of blend it in. And then I just kind of blend the whole thing. And you can do a darker, like I probably did the light Mossy Meadow over there. It just, whatever color you want. I wanted him to pop out a little bit more. All right. So there's our little turtle. All right, so now the monkey, and the thing with the monkey is you want to make sure the monkey and the bear are different colors because they both are in the brown area. So you want to make sure that you kind of do something a little different. So I'm going to start out with the monkey, and we're going to work with him with the crumb cake and a little bit of the bronze. So I'm going to make him a little darker with the bronze here and under his neck. You just kind of want to make sure that you're thinking about where the shadow areas are. And then I kind of just put a little darker on his tip of his tail. All right. All right, so I just kind of did a little darker spots. And now I'm going to go in with the darker crumb cake. And I'm going to go with the blend on the larger spots here. And I'm just going to blend that a little bit. And just kind of go along where you have the other darker spots. All right, now I'm going to go in with the lighter. And you're just going to blend in with the darker colors. You see how the colors are just kind of blending together. And I'm going to let that dry, finish everything else, and then kind of go back. You don't want to put too much on it at one time, especially with these little teeny tiny, his little hands and everything. And he'll just blend more and more, and we can go back in. When it's such little tiny pieces that you're trying to color and you're trying to blend together, you want to be really careful not to do too much at one time. You can let it dry and then go back in. All right, we got his ears. And I want his face lighter. Oops. I went out right there, but that's okay because we're going to do the bear. It's going to be a little bit darker. All right. Okay, so we're going to leave him like he is for now. Actually, I'm going to do his hands a little bit more. They look too light. They don't match him. The rest of his body. All right, there we go. Now with the bear, I want to do a little more of a cinnamon. The cinnamon color. So I'm going to bring in the bronze, and I have my cinnamon, dark cinnamon cider and light cinnamon cider. So we're going to use that. But we're also going to start out with some ivory because I want his belly to be a little bit on the lighter side and his face. So I'm going to start with that. Because I don't like his, I did his face on one of my cards a little bit too dark, I thought. So we're going to start out with some ivory and just give him a lighter tone. I like to turn my paper so that I'm still coloring in the same general area with my marker. All right. So you guys, I have like a good news, bad news kind of story. I went to the jewelers. I was on my way to my eye doctor appointment. I had some time to kill, so I went my jewelers to get my rings cleaned, and I thought, oh, I'll just walk in and get my rings cleaned while I'm waiting, while I'm ahead of schedule. I was out running a couple errands. I don't ever go anywhere but Costco, so it was kind of like, oh, I had an eye doctor appointment, and I actually got out of the house. So I go in there, and he takes my wedding band, well, he takes all my rings in to clean them. And he comes back with the wedding band, and he's like, you didn't have a missing stone, did you? And I'm like, no. And he just looked at it, so he knew I didn't. Because he was like, I didn't think so, because we were just looking at it, and I didn't notice it. So a stone had fallen out. One of the little side stones had fallen out into the cleaner thing that he puts the jewelry in. So I was like, well, that's a bummer. And he's like, nope, we're going to fix it. So he's got my jewelry. So I guess I'll have another outing this week at some point. All right, so I like to just go around, right, just find your places where you like and go with some of the darker. I kind of like to outline it sometimes. It just kind of brings that darker shade in. And so, of course, down here, it's going to be dark. It's got the monkey shading in front of him, and it's down where he's sitting. So I like to do a little darker there. And on his feet. So I take the darker cinnamon. I love this cinnamon cider color. I love it for so many things. All right, so just kind of put it where you think. And you can always add more in. All right, so let's just leave them like that for now. And now I'm going to take the lighter one, and again, I'm using the larger brush right now. And you just kind of want to start out on the lighter, on the darker, and kind of blend it inward. Go very slow, very careful. You don't want to go over where there's already ink. Remember, these are blends, and they'll blend together. So just be careful where you're going. Now, another secret to coloring like this is if you do heat emboss. If you emboss. Now, I don't like to do it with black. What I would do is I would use this is my darker one. I want this a little darker. I would use clear. So Stampin' your black, and then like use your Stamparatus, Stampin' your black, and then take your, or whatever color you want, and then take your clear, your Versamark, stamp again on top of it, and then do it with clear. And that's a lot easier to do your alcohol markers on, because your black embossing powder will smudge, and you don't want that. So now just kind of go in and fill him in. Get the shading that you want. I'm going to use the smaller side now. All right. I already have him cut out another one, so I just kind of wanted to show you the different colors and the technique that I use. Like I said, I am no expert by any means. I can see that dark line right there. I just want to go over it a little bit to blend it. Okay, now I can switch to go to his little hip and bring in the darker colors. You can tell when you color right up next to it that it's a different color. So just color over it and it will blend the two together. So like right up here, you can tell where I put the darker, and now I'm going in with the lighter. Just blend it in and it'll blend. Do you guys use alcohol markers? Yeah, Jennifer, do the clear on top of whatever color you want. Clear is like the most popular to use because you can just, especially with the positioning tools now. So with the Stamparatus, you just stamp it in black or whatever color you want. And then do the same thing. Add Versamark right on top of it. Add your clear. And that way you don't have to have 50 different embossing powders. You can just emboss your clear right on top of whatever color you have that you want to use, and then you have your embossed image. I remember when I used to have all colors, I thought I had to have every color, and then I found that I really don't do, unless I'm doing like distress type stuff or mixed media type stuff, then I might use different colors. But I rarely use different colors. I like my images sharp with black or gold or silver, the most that I use other than clear. All right, so our little guy is pretty much done. I could add a little more color to his stomach. Let me see. This is the light cinnamon. So I could add a little bit of light, but I'm not going to. I think I'm going to leave it like it is. I think what I'll do is I'll use a little more just to shade it in a little darker. I'm going to go over it with ivory again. So that's what I'm doing, just so that it kind of blends with his tones a little better. So this is the same color. I'm just going over it one more time. And I like that it's just a little darker because that was pretty light. And it's the light color, so going back over it, it just kind of blends it. All right, so there it is one more time. All right, so there he is. So there he's done. And you can, I don't know if you can see the shimmer on him. Let's see. But he's kind of shimmery. Now, another thing that I did that you can do is you can take, like I like the bronze, and you can take the little end and then, okay, so look at him now. Okay, so look at how he's colored right now. And now you take your marker and you just, I go upwards, flick upwards. And I'm going to go, and I won't do this whole guy the whole way, but you'll see how it lightens up, and you're just adding little hair marks to him. Let me get his little leg done here. And just kind of flick it up. It doesn't have to be like long or short or whatever. You just kind of, and then if you take a look, it's going to lighten up a lot, and then it's going to look like he's got little hair. So you're like adding little hairs to him, and you can do it so small. And it's just, I like to flick up. It seems like when I go downwards, I'm much more heavy-handed. So you just want to go a little bit. Yeah, the whole set, the only thing, Olivia, is your in colors, which means every 2 years they come out, well, every year they come out with an in color set. And so like the cinnamon is an in color. And so those are kind of separate for the markers. And then last year they came out with a set. The year before, but they're good for 2 years. So 2 years ago, those colors are gone. They left this year when the new colors came in. And next year, last year's colors will leave. So every year there's a new in color, but then there's 2 sets always current. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, okay, so now you just, and the blends, Olivia, are not available in every color, but a lot of the colors. Okay, so anyway, I will finish this little bear up later. But you just add a little bit of texture in him just by adding just a little bit, and it's going to lighten up so much. Now look at how much it's lightened up at the bottom already. See how it's lightened up? Hi, Carol. So now I just have to finish his other little part of his face right there. So there's that. So that's what you want to do. Okay. So now what I did is I already colored this little guy, and you can see how this one's a lot darker. And I wasn't happy with how dark it came out, but that's what we're going to use today. And you could always take your lifter, and you can always go in and lift a little bit of color. And I think I've done that once already on him. But you could try to go in and just lift a little bit of the color. And what this does is it pushes the color to the outside wherever you're going along, so it can lighten them up. And I think I'll lighten his little face up. All right. So now we're going to get to this. So what I did is I have an early espresso, and I'm just going to fold that in half. It's the regular A2 size, which is 5.5 by 8.5, and then scored at 4 1/4. All right, so we'll set this aside. Now, the green here, which is Pear Pizzazz, is 5 1/4 by 4. And remember, all of these sizes will be on my blog, so don't worry about that. You only need 2 ink pads. I did Old Olive and Soft Suede are the 2 colors. Okay, so we'll do our Old Olive. Let me push all my markers out of the way. All right, so with the Old Olive, I always like to start in the middle and then just stamp randomly. Remember, you're going to have an image in the middle, so it's okay. I want to make sure I have leaves here, so that's okay that it goes over, and I just want some leaves there. And you want to look at the spots you're going to kind of see. All right, so that I'm good with. So that's Old Olive. Again, the chamois, Love them. Okay. This chamois, you guys, I had wet. Today is Tuesday, and it's still wet. All right. So I'm done with the big tree. I'm going to put that back. I took the inside while I'm right here, and I have this little tree actually. So I'm going to do the old olive again, and I do not color this in. I just put it there for a fun little, is that glue? I think that's glue. All right, here we go. And I'm just going to put the tree there just for cuteness. And I'll put that right inside. So I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to show you how I did the wood background. So these two pieces, you have your white, which is 3 5/8 by 3. And then you have your crumb cake, which is 3 3/4 by 3 1/8, okay? And so when you layer them up, well, that doesn't look right. Did I grab the wrong piece? Maybe. So when you layer them up, they look like that. All right, so we're going to set the crumb cake aside. We're going to pull in our wood, I think it's called wood plank embossing folder. And I just lay it in there. I know a lot of people like to ink up the embossing folder, but that's not what I'm doing. So let me run this through real fast. All right. So now here's my wood piece. So I want to choose what side I'm going to use. This side has the grain parts going up. So this side is like the valley. This side is kind of like the mountain. They're coming up. And this is the side I want because I want these lines and textures that are up. So let me show you what I do. I take my soft suede and I don't want to get it inside. So if I did it with my pad, it would definitely go inside because I don't have luck with that. So let me just get this out of the way before I stick my hand in it. So I take an empty block, just a plain flat block, and I put it on my ink pad. And then I rub it. And you want to kind of firmly rub it because you want to make sure you get it on all your little grooves, okay? So just rub it really good. I'm going to turn it around, and I want to rub it on this side. So you just want to get it all over on all your little mountain pieces. And there's still a few there. I don't try to get too crazy, especially since the animals are going to cover that up anyway. All right, so that's what I do there. And that's when I take a baby wipe and get all that off. And I always mark my blocks. This one's not marked because, oh yeah, it is. It's right here. But just with some nail polish that's kind of distinctive. This is just kind of a corally, glittery kind of color. All right. So now we have this, and now we have, thanks, Felicia. Okay, I'm going to move that aside now. So now we're just going to glue this together. Oh, there's my kitty. I told my husband, if my cat starts crying, you need to come get her. My puppy is visiting friends. I have an older couple that just loves our dog and always wants to visit with our dog. So they took him for a couple days. All right, so now that's done. We are going to start foam squaring everything. So let's put our foam squares on. Thanks, Barbara. Bonnie, welcome. No problem. That's what I love about these lives is you can catch the replay. We just did some coloring, so now we're actually, this is what we did. We did some coloring, and now we're putting the card together. All right, so I'm going to take, let's just glue this inside while we're here. And I should be using my Stampin' Seal, you guys, because I figured out how to use it and I actually absolutely love it. So I don't know if I've told you before, you just have to hold it up. So once you get it going, keep it up like this. So just roll it and then lift. Don't do it at an angle down. Once you get it going, just roll it. The other thing I learned is if you put your silicone mat underneath and you kind of start it off your mat, you know how it has to roll a little bit because it kind of rolls inside. If you start it off silicone and then come across, it's perfect. But if you hold it up, once you get it going, it is wonderful. I'm actually so happy that that's working out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this down. We don't have to worry about our ribbon going around this. I kind of popped a lot up on this. I thought it was just so cute. Okay, so we're going to put the little trees on here on the background. All right, I'm going to set that aside and we're going to bring this in. And what I need to do really quick is cut out the tree. I cut out the animals. I didn't cut out the tree. So sorry. I meant to, and I started to do it right before, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to have time. So I just started the video, and now I'm going to do a quick cut. Remember around these little leaves, I like to turn and kind of give it, you know, some character. Don't just kind of round yourself around the leaves, kind of, and it doesn't have to be exact, especially right now I'm doing it super fast, but just kind of give it some circles, you know, some little character like it's leaves. And even though it's going to be behind the animals for the most part, a lot of it, okay, then I cut out the big pieces like that. And so I just kind of move my scissors just kind of in and out a little bit, like shapes of leaves. Kind of try to follow the pattern, but it doesn't have to be exact. And right here I am going to go, a lot of people don't go all the way down. I like to. I like the least amount of white, the better. I'm not going to go in there. I did before, I think, but it's not that big of a deal. It just depends on what bothers you and what doesn't. Sorry, I didn't cut this out earlier. I should have. It'll only take me a bit. And so yeah, I like to give it some character. I'm going to have to go back in at that part right there and cut because I can't get in with this big old piece of paper. So I do go back and kind of trim up a little bit. And so it's all in a matter of how much you want to go in the little pieces there. All right, so now I'm going to cut this so I can get a little better grip. Fussy cutting is not my favorite thing to do, but for some reason, just doing it the right way, getting it on the card, you're just like, it just turns out so much better than just trying not to do that. All right, sorry, I'm going to have to go back and cut this little piece. And I'm okay with that part, but I do want to cut this piece. And just be careful because these little branches are so tiny and you don't want to break them, but I think I don't want all that white in there. I know I'm weird like that. It just looks more realistic without this big old white. Okay, I think I'm fine with this. Okay, so there we go. There's our tree. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the animals on first. So I have my animals here. We're going to take off all my little dimensionals. All right, so I'm just going to set them down like this and not super firm because now I need to put dimensionals on my little tree. And I just had them, oh, right here. So I want the little ones. And he's going to be tucked in down on the bottom, so I'm not too worried with a lot of the images. The ones on the right I'm more worried about because these are going to be tucked in behind the flamingo. So I'm going to take these off. Thanks, Veronica. All right, so we're going to slide him in. So he's kind of behind the turtle, kind of behind the flamingo, but kind of sticking off a little bit. Let's see. I think I'm going to have him go a little bit more because I want this foam square that's right here to kind of at least be down there. Okay, now I'm going to bring, that kind of gives me an idea where everybody's going to go. All right, everybody is down. Now this one's sticking half off, half on, and I'm fine with that. I don't care. It might be sticking off a little here, but it presses right down. Okay, so now we're going to take our braided linen trim. And I'm just going to go, I'm going to flip this over and put just a little strip there. And take that off. Just make sure you have enough over here hanging out to tie your bow. I went the wrong way. I want the bow the other way. So we're going to go like this. I just slid right underneath and go right around. Okay, and then tie. And then you can tie your little bow. Now what I did, I'm remembering now, go like this, and then I put a glue dot right there to help hold it. Just tuck it underneath the turtle a little bit. And then it's easier to tie your bow. All right, so there's our little bow. All right, so there's that. And now we're going to foam square this too. Put our dimensionals up. I don't always put this many, but because he's a little bit heavy, just because it's got all the layers on here, and we're going to also add our little rhinestones on our little enamels. Thanks, Jennifer. This card was just so fun. I've been really wanting to play with this card for some time. Okay, and then just kind of, you know, put it where you want it. Oops, sorry, my head's in the way again. I hate when I do that. All right, let me clean this mess up right here. And now we're going to do our envelope, and we're going to add our stones on it here. So I took these, which is the 2020-2022 enamel, and I just did a little cinnamon one, and then I added the little bumblebee. And then I added another bumblebee down here. Now with the sentiment, this was kind of fun because of the fun font that it has. What I decided to do is I stamped it. And then what I did is I just cut it super easy. So I cut it straight across. And then I cut it at an angle. Let me cut that off. And then I just cut it. And then I cut it at an angle again. Just kind of go along with the Y's. And then again. And then an angle. And then I went straight across. I just kind of followed the font. Okay, so I went a little farther in here. And that's at an angle. And just kind of follow the line of the font, just because it's such a fun font, and I'm going to angle that just a little bit. So that's how I came up with how I cut it. And then I have a big marker here. It's just a prism color marker, but you can use any fat marker. Now I don't do it from the front because if you miss, you're going to get it on your text. So I go from the back and I just like to color around, and you're going to do it really quick and fast. You don't want it super dark all the way around. You just want to kind of outline it. Be careful not to get it on your fingers. Okay, so now I have this cute little font. A fun font. All right, we're going to pop that up too. You can get your foam square, your dimensional just perfectly in there. And then I'm going to put one in the middle. And I think I'm going to do just a little strip at the top. There we go. I'm going to take that off. And we're just going to add that right there. Now we're going to do the inside of the envelope. So I have this scratch piece of a grid sheet that I've been using. Let's see, where's my envelope? So of course we're going to put it like that. We're going to take the two ink colors that we were using. We're going to take the happy birthday, and I'm going to start it kind of in the middle. And I'm just going to arrange it kind of random like that. And then I'm going to clean off the green and just add the other color. A lot of times I like to put like a picture. Like I thought of doing the trees, but then I thought, well, I used the tree on the inside. So I thought this is kind of fun when people get their cards and it's a birthday. And just fill it up with the birthday. All right, so there is our card. There was the original one. And then here's the one I colored. I kind of liked the idea of going a little lighter on the belly with that one. So I'll probably be making a third card to add that to, because it is a super simple card. Now, my suggestion is always to create a lot of them at the same time. So if I were to be doing this, I like to do multiple cards at the same time. So I would color 4 of the images at one time. And then I would, assembly line them. I would stamp all the green backgrounds. I would do all of the sentiments. And so that's what I like to do, because I like to do several at a time and have them on hand, because I always get somebody that says, oh, can you make me one of those cards? Well, then it's already done. Thank you, Olivia. And so that's what I like to do. I like to do multiple. So here is the card that I posted. And it will be on my blog. Thanks, Felicia. Yeah, it's just, I know a lot of people like to do one and done, and they are one and done. They are, I mean, no cards are the same. You can tell just by the coloring alone that I can see what I've done different, what I want to do differently. This is what it looks like in the catalog. They did this card up here at the top. And that page is, I think, 92, and it's got some other super adorable cards. That little turtle I just love. I've done him on several cards. Thanks, Bonnie. I think so too, Bonnie. That's exactly what I'm going to do with mine, is send them to my grandkids. I have 2. Well, one's coming, so yeah, I'm excited about that. Okay, guys, so my live videos are on Tuesday and Sunday. Oh, Felicia, you are so sweet. Tuesdays at 2 o'clock and Sundays at noon. And I will be still doing Christmas, but I'll still be throwing in non-Christmas stuff now and again, because I just have to play with some of this other stuff. It's still a lot of new stuff to play with. I would really appreciate your guys' support if you would subscribe and share and like. That really does help my YouTube channel, and I appreciate that so much. There should be a little image on the bottom right side there that you can just click on that, or click on the subscribe, and then click the bell. That's what will remind you that I'm live and when I come on. And as always, I am always here to be your demonstrator. If you need a demonstrator, I would really appreciate you ordering through me and my blog. You can go straight to my blog, and there's a shop on my online store, and you can shop through there. You can also just look at the catalogs there. There are the current annual catalog and the holiday catalog, both. You can look at those page by page, see if there's anything that's interesting to you. And of course, my August code is there on my blog right below the shop button. It is also listed there. So it's right next to there. If you just copy that and take that in when you go through the shop and add that into the box, unless your order is more than $150. If your order is more than $150, don't use the code, because then I want you to get the hostess codes to be the hostess. If it's over 150, that's considered a party. So make sure you do not use my code in that case, because you would get all the benefits. But that does help me get things that maybe I wouldn't normally purchase, or maybe more items to create something for you. And so that's extremely helpful. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, if there is something in the catalog, holiday or not, or the annual catalog, just let me know. And if you'd like me to create something with a particular stamp set that you haven't seen created with, or something that you're interested in seeing created with, just let me know. And if I have it, I will create with it. All right, you guys, I will see you on Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I would really appreciate it. And on my blog, you guys can subscribe there too. I will be posting my image there, this video there. Oh, Felicia, you're so welcome. And if you go there, you'll see this video probably later tonight, but you'll get an announcement tomorrow morning if you subscribe. So you will get an announcement showing that it's been on there. The video with more details, the measurements, and the items that I used will all be listed there. And there's a lot of other crafty inspiration on my blog. So go take a look. Carol, thank you. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Tuesday, if not before then. Have a great night.